Hello and welcome to the Institute of Interpersonal Hypnotherapy Open House. My name is Danny Fox. I'm the Chief Operational Officer and Chief Education Officer for the Institute of Interpersonal Hypnotherapy. I'm joined tonight with Monica Waterman. She is our Director of Admissions, and Jenny Warner, our Director of Student Services. We're glad to have you here tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're here to just introduce you to the school and the opportunity to become a certified clinical hypnotherapist, clinical and also transpersonal hypnotherapist. We just want to welcome you. If you're logging on expecting to see Matthew tonight, so are we, and that we weave and bob in these times when we have some weather up in New York, where Matthew is located, and he's unable to join us tonight, but we're glad to be here, and we hope to do this opportunity to speak with you justice in lieu of his presence tonight. We'll miss him very much. Matthew, if you're watching, hi, hello. We'll make you proud. So glad you're here. Hi. Well, welcome. Glad that you're here tonight. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with us. We're here to just introduce the school to you and the opportunity to become a hypnotherapist. Look forward to sharing with you some things about the school that you may not know, some things you can explore on the website, and but maybe a little bit of back end about the what and the why and the how of presenting you this incredible opportunity, and a little bit of the heart of why we do what we do. I'm seeing some wonderful things in the chat pod over there to the side. Thanks everybody for joining us. Just want to give you a little bit of history of the school. That's our agenda tonight, and also the opportunity to enroll. You'll see that we have our next upcoming class, September 27th. So we are excited to get you moving towards that direction of either moving into this as a career path or even just personal development. We'll talk a little bit more as we move through. So, a history of the school. My goodness, I can't do Matthew's backstory on this justice, and I can only say that we've been working with students to help them become certified clinical hypnotherapists, transpersonal hypnotherapists for well over a decade, with some of the best curriculum in the field, if not the best curriculum in the field. I'm so excited to be a former student, but also an instructor in this work, and I can say what we're doing is completely unprecedented. I'm very proud of the work that we do, and the work reflects a wonderful legacy of career that is brought to us by Matthew Bronstein in his very wide and varied background and diverse experience and skill and interest in this work. An incredible cache of mentors who have helped model some wonderful skills that he's passed on to us. So we're so grateful for that. I can't really speak to Matthew's personal journey, but I will tell you that he brings every ounce of his knowledge, skills, and abilities with religious studies and philosophy background in college, but also his time spent in quiet repose as an ashram. He likes to consider himself a monk at heart, and we really do feel that energy from him, and he brings the best of these skills in his religious studies, but also some dabbling in, not a little bit of dabbling, but quite a bit of dabbling in acupuncture, and also neurolinguistic program, hypnotherapy. You name it, Matthew has really taken the best of many diverse skills and abilities and folded them into this experience of the school. I wish I could speak more to his journey, and I will invite you to visit the website to read more about Matthew and his background. Our team is who you have here tonight, plus a number of people, close to 30 people behind the scenes that you will meet once you become a student in the school, instructors, supervisors, consultants, business managers, a wide cache of influential partners who help us present the best of this work to you. Again, I'll show you where to find those folks on our website today. But as I mentioned today, we have Monica Waterman, who is the Director of Admissions. She's here, and Jenny Warner as Director of Student Services, and myself, an instructor, and also former graduate and COO of Anahat Education, which is the overseeing body of the Institute. I want to talk to you a little bit about the important state licensure. Let's get that right out of the way right up front. There's a lot of opportunities to do hypnotherapy training. I can't speak to anyone in particular. I don't want to call any out, but there's real value in seeking out a opportunity to learn presented by a school that is licensed by the Department of Education to award diplomas in this work. And that's who we are. That's what we offer here. And that's very important because we set the standard for your experience in this educational process very high. And we're always always advocating for that level of expertise and that skill and that quality and the standard of education, but also the amount of education that you're getting in this work. So currently we have 500 hours plus an additional 250 hours of coming CEUs and education that you have access to as a student of the school. And we really believe that we're going to continue to push that threshold of what meets the minimum expectation for a hypnotherapist, certified hypnotherapist. So we're really proud to offer that to you, 500 plus hours of state licensed education. And we can take a little bit more of a deeper dive once we get into the website. And then also Jenny will talk a little bit about what that curriculum is made up of and how you move through that curriculum as well. We're also proud to be part of the IIH, and that's the International Association of Interpersonal Hypnotherapists. And I would say part of, but we founded that, we created that because that's an important part of the standard that we're trying to provide for you as clinical hypnotherapists. So this overseeing body of ethics and support and advocacy to make this experience for you as a clinical hypnotherapist the best of the best that we can provide for you. So the IAIH is a member-driven organization, but it's overseen at the level of Anahat Education to really advocate for you and provide the highest level experience for you once you're a graduate of the school. I'll show you a little bit about where to find that when we move into looking at the website today. What is hypnotherapy and what is interpersonal hypnotherapy? I love talking about this because a lot of people believe they understand what hypnotherapy is. It's the art of using the hypnotic trance state to create change and allow someone to move from where they are to where they want to be. And interpersonal hypnotherapy is that and then some, which is really working in that interpersonal domain, which is about relationships and how we all interrelate with each other and react to each other, and how that affects our day-to-day living experiences. So if we're working in an interpersonal domain, we're working with relationships to create change. So what you get when you come to the Institute is not just hypnotherapy and the skills that most people consider to be key for a hypnotist or hypnotherapist. We're working in a relational domain, so really covering all of the bases of the context of behavior and the context of someone's experience. So that's the overarching arc of where you're going when you come to this school, is you're headed towards through the hypnotherapy domain and into the interpersonal domain where we live our lives. We live our lives with relationships. And so this work and Matthew's model speaks to that and is very effective in creating change. I love to get to this question right here. Why IIH? I have to tell you that I have no problem explaining to students and prospective students and to the community and the public in general that this work saved my life. I was not in a good place personally when I found this work, and I stumbled upon it. It was in my backyard. It changed my life, saved my life in so many ways. And when I made the decision to come to this school, I had no idea the quality of the experience. I had no idea the content of the experience. And what I found when I got into the model was it was very well aligned with what I was trying to do with my own life, which was align with a higher way of being, align myself with greater purpose, a greater expression of wisdom and truth, and being present in my experience in my life. And when I got here and I got into the content, what I found was that I'm deconstructed old ways of being and was able to reconstruct new ways of being. And it was a true alignment process. And I wasn't able to find that anywhere else in any other tool, in any other model. And I'm proud to say that I've continued my education outside of the school, and yet I keep coming back to the content presented in the school. It's a very unique structure, a very unique integration of spiritual concepts and interpersonal concepts and leading edge neurolinguistic concepts, and also some incredible legacy content that you would only find with people who've mentored with the best of the best, which we're fortunate to say that Matthew has. So why IIH? Because it's a student-centered, heart-centered educational process wherein if you never even wanted to practice as a hypnotherapist, the incredible dynamic interpersonal change that you would experience because of the heart of this work is indescribable and life-changing, and I'm forever grateful. That's why IIH, it is a healing process. It's a healing endeavor, and you come out with incredible skills and experience on the other side to help other people heal themselves. The styles of delivery, I'll let Jenny talk a little bit about some of that and how we move through this work, but I can just say that we're adapting to the changing educational landscape. COVID shook up a lot of things for us and changed some ways of doing our business, and it has only helped many, many students continue to take advantage of this opportunity to learn this skill. We have some online, with in person, so we've got a lot of diverse mediums to get you through this content, and Jenny will talk a little bit about that, and I will as well a little bit later. But the bottom line is we're flexible and adaptable to help you get to your educational goal, your experience with this school as best as we can in a way that works for you. So that's a little bit about us. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Interpersonal NLP Society, which is also within the school and with Anahat Education. And this again speaks to Matthew's desire to present the best of the best and the highest standard of education possible to you. So he's taking his many years of experience in NLP and folded it into a society that basically certifies you as a basic practitioner and master practitioner. So we're very pleased to offer that to you as well. And again, the best of his skill and what he's done with the many mentors over his 20 plus career in this field. So that is something that is afforded to you as well in the form of CEUs at this time, the basic and the master practitioner. I talked a little bit about the International Association of Interpersonal Hypnotherapists. I'll show you where to find some more information about that on our website. And just keeping in mind, this is the governing body, the overseeing body of our graduates. And we advocate and we support and we provide additional resource for really to continue to drive the standard of the hypnotherapy practice in the, not just in the US, but as it says, internationally, and really expanding that reach of the highest quality experience for our students and our graduates. As part of the International Association of Interpersonal Hypnotherapists, we provide continuing education credits, we provide some legal advocacy, and also Matthew is responsible for helping support graduates in getting their business license and helping educate communities and counties and business bodies to certify and to license our graduates, give them their business license. And we're very grateful for his advocacy in that respect. But probably most significant is the code of ethics that a graduate is held to once they join this organization, once they've graduated, is to continue to drive the quality of the experience that a client might have with one of our graduates. So that's what the International Association of Interpersonal Hypnotherapists does for our graduates. In addition to hold conferences annually, we're really excited about that. We're looking for an in-person May conference next year, so we hope to see you there. I'll show you where to find that information on our website. Boy, I'm just moving right through here. Silent Light Publishers. Well, this is a wonderful thing that perhaps you didn't know about the school and what you have access to through our education. Is that Silent Light Publishers is an in-house publishing body that you see has published many of Matthew's books and has the opportunity to publish yours. I know that is an upcoming benefit to future students, but you can check out all of Matthew's books on our website, in addition to some other books published by our graduates, some wonderful resources in the vein of this work, and it gives you a little bit of backstory about some of Matthew's journey in this work as well. We are very fortunate to have some support in helping students create this voice, and create and publish and produce their voice. So you'll be hearing some great things from us very soon about the publishing opportunities and how we can help that happen as well. But please check out our bookstore. You'll see many wonderful resources there that speak to the quality of this work and a little bit of the back end. Free online resources. Oh my gosh, Matthew is so generous in his free online resources. For years, he's been doing meditations and guided hypnosis and Monday Conscious Community classes. And he's also presented the online monastery. If you haven't checked that out, I'll show you where to find that link. But the online monastery is so close to Matthew's heart. And this is a resource for a very unique, specific meditation system that Matthew has created it and provided as a free resource to you. Some of this is online, but you can also find this resource on the web. Again, just speaking to the generous nature of Matthew's heart to really get this information out there and share it with you. If you never went through the school, you still have access to this, and it's very worthwhile checking out. I mentioned the Monday Conscious Community classes. This is taking a little bit of bend towards more of a podcast type format where we just present to you more current events and current speakers and interesting insights from Matthew and also community leaders or other leaders, thought leaders in this field. You can check this out. I'll show you where to find this on our website. You can sign up for a notice for when we have these classes. And then there's an archive of thousands of hours of Matthew having done these classes on topics from astral projection to, oh gosh, help me out here, Monica. Over the years, we've seen an interview with me, former student, graduate.
Oh yeah, dream work and past life regression. He covers everything. Creating and manifesting prosperity and right and life mastery skills and just all the kinds of questions that kind of pop into your head. They're those bigger questions. They're all covered in those conscious community classes. There's hundreds of hours and they're all free.
Yeah.
I'm not interrupting.
I said thousands of hours. I think there's thousands of hours there, but they're all free. And again, speaking to Matthew's very generous heart to just get some information out there. And if it changes your life, fantastic. If it inspires you and helps you inspire someone else, fantastic. And please just check out these resources. They're a benefit to all, not just to students and graduates of our school. I'll show you where to find those. Online monastery, I mentioned this before, very dear to Matthew's heart, a very sacred meditation system that he has presented free and provided free to the public. I'll show you where to find that as well. Again, just so generous with these resources. I'm going to share a little bit of the website here. Let's see, here we go. Oops, here we go. Okay, sharing the website. Okay, that's not happening at the moment. I'll get back to you on that one. But for now, let's go back to the student experience. For this, I'm going to throw the ball to Jenny, and she'll talk a little bit about the student experience here at IIH, excuse me. Go for it, Jenny.
Thank you, Danny. I'll catch the ball, or at least I'll try
catch the ball.
So my name is Jenny Moore. I'm the Director of Student Services here, and I'm also a proud graduate of the school. I graduated in 2021. I actually went through the school during COVID, so that was very interesting, and the school did a beautiful job navigating us all through that process. And so now I work for the school. I also have set up my own private practice, so I have the best of both worlds. And I'll just take you through this slide here, which talks about the student experience. And my job is to support you all as we move through the course, as you move through the classes, and even beyond. I get lots of questions from graduates who are looking for a resource. In fact, I got one just the other day. Somebody was looking for the smoking cessation protocol, and I just point them in that direction. So the support starts when you, it starts as soon as you pick up the phone and talk to Monica, and then it continues all through the whole process and beyond. So we're family that way, I suppose. And the three programs, there are 500 hours of training, and the three programs that you can see listed here are hypnotherapist, which is 300-hour sections for a total of 300 hours, clinical hypnotherapist, and transpersonal hypnotherapist. So if you go through each of the three programs, you would end up with a diploma that has those words on them: hypnotherapist, clinical hypnotherapist, and transpersonal hypnotherapist. And I get to do the printing of those diplomas at the end of your journey, which is always a really nice and rewarding thing to do. So the training module, or the experience, takes a couple of different forms. One is the online tutorials, and that represents 70 hours or 70% of that 100 hours for each module. And those tutorials you can access whenever you want. You can access them, you can do them all at once and binge watch, or you can do them, periodically as and when it fits into your schedule. You can access them by phone, you can access them on the computer. So it's very flexible. And you can always go back and rewatch things if you want to take a little bit of a deeper dive. And those tutorials, I think this is a really important point. Those tutorials, once you sign up for the school, will be in your personal library. So you will have access to those for life. And so, and I can speak to this from my own experience, it's really amazing to be able to go back and review something that you learned after having had some experience, because you take in different things. And so it's a really valuable resource that you'll always have access to. And then the other 30% of that is we call them practical, the live experiential practice. And those can be done either online or in person. And those take place over the course of a weekend. They typically start on a Friday morning and would go all day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so those, for each 100 hours, we would have a set of practicals weekends, and those schedules are on the website. Danny will probably show you where those are located, so you can take a look at those. And then for each 100-hour module, there are also 3 live classes, and those are really important as well, because you have a chance to get on in the evening and go through the important points about each of the modules, talk about the practicals weekends, ask questions, meet your colleagues, and those are also recorded so that if you can't make the live classes, you can watch those at your leisure as well. And you can go back and look at those. In fact, I've gone back recently and just reviewed some of those live classes, because some of the content is just, well, all of the content is great, but there are certain areas sometimes that are just really good to go back to. There are some exams, but before that scares you, the written exams are for each 100-hour section. There are multiple choice written exams. You do get 3 chances to take them. Once you've gone through the modules, you will have more than enough knowledge to pass those with flying colors. And there is an oral exam at the end of the training, and that oral exam is required for you to get your hypnotherapist diploma. And again, I'm here to support you as you go through the process. There are times when students need to take a little bit of extra time and perhaps move schedules. Sometimes students just have questions about the process. Sometimes students just want to talk about what's going on in their life and how to manage it all. So I'm here for you. We're all here for you. And I look forward to meeting you, talking to you, and hopefully seeing you at some point in the future.
Thanks, Jenny. It's very rare we get to have this little candid discussion about what the student experience was like. We went through it different times. What was your student experience like here at the school?
So my experience, well, well, again, it was COVID, so that was that's one place to start. I did do my practicals in person in the Tampa location, and for me, that was just an amazing way to connect with people. The instructors are amazing. I just felt really supported through the whole process, and I don't think that's changed. I've seen some changes in the curriculum and some new things added since I've graduated, and all the materials are always being improved. But if I had to summarize the way that I felt, it would definitely be supported.
Right.
And you meet amazing people, and people come into this profession for really personal reasons, and we all come into this because we want to either heal ourselves or heal others, and that just creates a really amazing environment to learn in.
Yeah, and it's funny, we've talked about this before, and like when you entered into this school, did you have any idea that you were going to be healing people and transforming their lives?
Well, that was my intention when I started, but I wouldn't have been able to predict the way that it happened. And you mentioned it earlier, Danny, which is when you go through this course, there's so much learning that you do about yourself.
Hmm.
And it's really transformational work. And um, to be able to then to experience it personally and then be able to carry that out into the world, it is truly amazing. And people do it for many different reasons. So students go through sometimes because they want to set up their own practice, and that's very clear. But as you mentioned as well, some people want to do it just for the knowledge and for the personal experience of it.
Yeah.
And whatever happens, how for whatever reason you come into this, you'll leave a different person.
Right, right. And we say that word healing, and we're not really agents of anything. We just hold space for other people to connect to the resources to heal themselves. I mean, that's really the amazing thing about learning to empower people, and that's probably the best thing I walked away from the school, was this agency to help other people find agency, and realizing that this incredible skill I have, probably the best thing I walked away with was the ability to hold space while people find the resources to empower themselves to heal themselves, which is such a tremendous thing. I'm so grateful for. In terms of it being a skill, it's a very technical skill, but the best thing we lead with is that rapport and our heart, and holding space for people to find their own way. And I never would have imagined that going in, thinking that it's a very technical skill. I'm going to have to be very, focused on these specific steps to get it done. And while there is some of that, I find that most of what we do is meet people where they are, hold space for them to find the truth and find what they need and get what they need out of the process and heal themselves. And I don't know about you, but that's an incredibly rewarding thing to see someone just turn on that inner resource and step into it and really create the life that they desire and deserve. I don't know, that lights me up quite a bit. Yeah, for sure. And so, Jenny, you spoke to having an in-person student experience, and I can speak to what students are also having the opportunity to experience in this work, and that's the online experience, where in addition to having these online tutorials delivered over video and the live classes where they interact with me once every other week in each module, there are some students that are going through and doing their experiential integrative weekend, where we take this content and we bring it to life, and we allow you to opportunity to get your feet in some of this work and the protocols and techniques. Those are also facilitated online. So we have that as an in-person experience and an online experience, and I facilitate the online experience, which is a lot of fun. It's very different, and it's allowing us to introduce some people to this work in the marketplace that they're going to be working in, which is the virtual marketplace, and learning how to deliver this wonderful service in a online capacity. So I'm really enjoying that, and I'm really enjoying watching the students thrive in this model, and how we have to bend some of the delivery of it to be able to do that, and yet hearing how wonderful people are doing in the virtual marketplace with this skill. That's probably the thing I get the most is, can you really be hypnotized over the internet? And I often remark, well, if you can fall in love over the internet, you can certainly be hypnotized over the internet, right? And so some of our students who are taking this in an online format are really enjoying the virtual nature of it, and it's creating career paths where they didn't really believe that they had a opportunity to do so before. So I'm excited about that, and I think people are getting a lot out of that online environment as much as they were getting out of the in-person environment. Excellent. Beautiful, beautiful. So Jenny, did you want to talk any more about this? I'm sorry, I didn't have that slide up for you.
No, that's all right. It just mentions that, we track and monitor your progress, just simply meaning that we make sure that you're able to be on track, so that you're prepared for your practicals weekends, and we give you support via phone, via email, via text, and we all understand what you are going through, and I think that's really important.
Yeah.
So we're all here for you.
Yeah, yeah, and that is the thing, right? We understand what it's like to be students in the school and to help get you through. And students often won't know what they don't know very early on in the process, but then there's this integration that happens about 300 hours in, 400 hours in. You start understanding things more and more, better and better, and then there's this sense of knowledge and integration of skill that comes closer towards the end. But as former students in the school, we're definitely able to help students get over those humps where they maybe are a little confused. But confusion's important. It's part of the process of creating order. So we're here to help you with that for sure as part of the student experience. We're going to talk a little bit about a deeper dive into this, which is which I kind of already mentioned speaking to the online experience, but I'd love to talk about the why we do what we do. I mean, I can't speak for Jenny here or Monica, and I would certainly love for Matthew to be able to share with you his big why. But you know, why I do this work is because while I was a student and shortly after becoming a graduate, I really felt the need to support other people in creating change in their lives. And I didn't know what it was about this school that was so special, or about this experience that was so special, until afterwards. And I felt like I really needed to get involved. And so becoming an instructor, a supervisor, an instructor, and then eventually a part of the school's administration just seemed like a natural progression. And we see a lot of students take that path where they become a student and then they want to support and they want to be involved. It's a very passionate mission, but it's also something just many feel compelled to do. And that comes from just this incredible knowledge base of material that is available to you as you go through the school. We say 70% of your experience is this online video tutorials, but if I could tell you what that 70% is chock full of, it's history and legacy, quality hypnotherapy background and education that you'll have access to from now until forever, as long as you're a student in good standing with the school. So you'll always have access to the content, regardless of how it's presented in whatever format. And right now we have this in a learning management platform online that you can log in and access and watch the videos and see your progress as you move through the content. And that's about 70% of your coursework. And that works with your schedule. So you have about 6 weeks to get through this 70% through these online tutorials. And then you have these interactive live classes with me every 2 weeks. And you manage that on your own time. So it's something that you work with your own schedule to decide how much time this week you have to complete X number of hours. And it's really flexible for you. That is an incredible opportunity, given the fact that when I went through school, I was a single mom and I was trying to juggle the hours and being present online. And boy, what an incredible opportunity the students have now with the ability to watch these tutorials on their own time and get them done at their leisure with the time that they have available. So that works with your schedule and your own pace. And then this 30% that's these live interactive practicals, or the integrative experiences that I like to call them experiential practicals. Those are every 6 weeks and they take place for 3 days. So a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that's when we're going to get together as a group, whether you're in the online class or the in-person class. You're going to get together with your group and your cohort, and you're going to hit the ground running, practicing these tools and techniques. And we've created a really fantastic, solid way for you to get prepared for that, so that you show up to these practical weekends ready to apply what you know. And there's a little bit of confusion and unknown there about what you can experience, but you will leave with solid integration of skills and application of your skills at the end of that weekend. I don't know about you, Jenny, but those were some of the best weekends when we would connect with each other and apply these techniques and work on each other. I created friends for life from that. What about you?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Those were the best. And yeah, it's 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 very intimate. You know, it's work that you feel really honored to do, and you get to know people, and people get to know you in ways that you might not have imagined. But yeah, I would say that I too found friends for life, because you know, like I said before, people come to this profession with similar hearts and minds, so the weekends are fantastic, whether they're online or in person.
Right, right. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I mean, and Renee, who's another instructor here at the school, she and I met in class and been lifelong friends ever since. And it's not because I just let her tinker under the hood. It's because we just were in similar places in our life when we went through this work. But those in-person experiential weekends are the place for you, for the students to really take this content and make it actionable. You'll leave each weekend with a new skill. You'll leave with confidence each weekend, and that's our job. That's my job. That's the instructor's job. And we're just hearing wonderful things from the students about how ready they feel going in, but how much more confident and ready they feel when they've finished those 30 hours of weekend practicals. It's a good time for all. We have some this weekend, as a matter of fact. So, one of the things we really value about these weekend experiences where you're putting the skills to your tests is really a small group of people, cohort of people. So one instructor to every 5 students. What that allows us is the opportunity to really observe and watch and help you hone your skill, give you quality feedback, observe where you are, where you could tweak and adjust, and how we can improve your skills so you can have a better experience. So I love the fact that it's such a small ratio of teacher, student, and we can really get that hands-on work with you. Jenny, is that what you found as well in person?
Yeah, absolutely. And also the instructors are available for mentoring,
Yes.
either during the course or after, and that's a really, really valuable resource. And so you get to know your instructors really, really well and can ask them questions and spend time with them on either curriculum related things or even just business development. So
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And in terms of that business development, one of the wonderful things about the student experience is having access to resources for marketing and business. And our director of marketing, Corey Benchop, who's not here with us tonight, but he has done a wonderful job producing some videos on marketing and some latest leading edge techniques for your website and for your integration with your leads, and really creating conversions from your website and your marketing, in addition to hours and hours of content that Matthew provided that were already embedded in the school that he actually filmed for the benefit of the students recently, and that information is there as well. So really supporting the students in there and growing their business and getting their feet right on the ground, running right after graduation, and sometimes even after the 300 hours, helping you start to build that business. So that information is there as well. And then once you're a graduate of the school, continuing to support you, whether that's through what Jenny had mentioned about mentoring, we're here to support you, whether that's reviewing your website or helping you figure out your marketing plan, or doing a debrief after some of your sessions. Instructors are available for mentoring hours, and that's definitely a benefit of having access to them through the school and getting to know them through the school. But having access to the training from once you graduate, uh, for as long as you need it. We have many graduates who revisit the training and just kind of brush up, and whether that's just the content that's in the videos or it's attending a weekend practicals again, that's what you have access to. And if it helps you and it grows your skill and it makes you feel more confident, we're happy to have you back. And if you do come back in that capacity to revisit, we hope that you will participate in a capacity of growing with the school as like a supervisor aide, who can then become a supervisor and who then can become an instructor of the school. It's very easy to integrate yourself in that capacity. If you have a heart for teaching and you have a heart for continuing your education in this work, they say, watch one, do one, teach one. And so as a supervisor aide and a supervisor, you'd have an opportunity to do that. So we'd love to see you grow with the school, and repeating those practicals, having access to that training once you're a graduate will definitely help in that area. Let me just check, make sure I've hit everything on this. Support with continuing education. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about continuing education. So through the IIH, we offer many continuing education classes, whether it's advanced eye movement therapy or psychic intuitive intuitive development, or I think we just this weekend had a Course in Miracles or the Sutras of Healing and Enlightenment. There's always something available to continue your education once you're a graduate. And then, of course, once you become a member of the IIH, you can also attend the annual conference and have access to industry leaders, people who are providing maybe some different bends on how they apply a certain technique, or presenting you their inspiring backstory on the way that they're using this work to change lives, or just hearing from someone like me who's happy to share with you her own personal experience and how it changed her life through this work. And then, of course, keynote from Matthew always is something to look forward to, as he takes these really incredible concepts and whittles them down to things that are so incredibly meaningful and actionable in our lives. All those things are available once you become a graduate and part of the IIH. All right. Wow. This is going along. I'm loving this conversation that we're having. Monica, how do we get started? What are the next steps here?
Oh, sorry about that. So, hi everybody. You probably all already talked to me, so I'm like not anything new to you. I'm Monica Waterman. I'm your admissions director. So think of me as your primary point of contact when you start asking questions or coming up with questions about training. And speaking of questions, I just want to point out to everybody that there is like room for you to hit us up for with questions on the chat, and don't be shy, because hey, that's what we're here for. We're here to help you guys. I'll dive right into it. One of the first questions I always get before I get into the bullet points, I just want to answer things that I know come up. So one of the first questions that I always get is what prior degrees or training or certifications or qualifications are required in order to become a hypnotherapist working with the public. And the answer to that is none. It's important to know that in our training, everything from beginning to end, soup to nuts, that you're going to need to become a working, practicing, competent, confident hypnotherapist is included in this training. And I don't use those words interchangeably. Confidence is not always married to competency, but we make sure that by the time you're done with our training, that those are both present in your practice. The point is that when you put into a search line hypnosis and training, for example, just a random search line, I don't know, I haven't tried it, but I would be willing to put hard money down that it'll probably yield you somewhere in the tens or multiple tens of thousands of results. And for someone who's looking for something nice to do as a hobby or fun to do at a party or just to satisfy some, random curiosity, that's perfect. But for somebody who's really feeling called to use this type of technique or training to help them, assist other people in making, powerful, transformations in their own lives, it will not do. It's not going to be enough. You do, as Danny said to begin with, need a training that's licensed through the Department of Education. Well, how do I know that? That's a great question. How do I know that? If their DOE license number is not present on their website, click off, because that training, while it may very well have some interesting stuff, and hey, I'm not even throwing any shade, I'm just simply saying that, for the purposes of opening your own practice, it is not gonna be what you need. Now, conversely, trainings that are licensed through the Department of Education, we could say number in the United States alone less than the fingers on one hand. So that narrows the field and makes life a little bit easier for people who are looking for legitimate trainings where the word diploma has a meaning. I always say this because my grandson took his puppy to PetSmart, and it learned how to sit, and which was very cool. It came back with a diploma, and it was really cute, and it meant zero, really. So you want a credential that your clients are going to be able to place their confidence in your ability before they make themselves vulnerable to you. And ethically, I would say that would behoove anybody in this position to want to be able to provide that anyway. So we're all on the same page. As I said before, checking that website to see if the DOE license number is there is going to tell you whether your diplomas are backed by the DOE. So that's one credential. Another question I'm always getting is it legal? You know, what is the law as far as if I'm not a LCSW or an LMHC or, you know, a psychologist or psychiatrist or whatever, can I legally practice hypnotherapy? You know, because seems like I've read the statute and it says that's not the case. Now, when Danny shows you our website, she's going to show you the IAIH tab. And I know I'm getting a little weedy here with that, but it's there for you. That information is right there on the website for you. So don't take my word for it. Just surf to interpersonalhypnotherapy.com, and on the ribbon, you'll see the IAIH tab. And if you hover over that, there'll be a drop down for advocacy. And if you hover over that, you'll see everything to do with law and, you know, legal state laws and legal efforts, et cetera. And Matthew does a whole tutorial. There are two videos on there that explains everything to do with that. The short answer is from me, like I say, yes, you certainly can if you have taken a training that's licensed through the Department of Education, meaning the full curriculum resides with the Department of Education, and the only way to earn a diploma is to successfully complete the curriculum as it stands there. So that's your answer in a nutshell. I would also say hearkening back to what we were talking about with this blended approach to training, because a lot of people say to me, what's the difference? Like, well, now I've told you the difference between about 10,000 trainings and about 4 or 5, but what's the difference between those 4 or 5? Danny brought it up, and I don't want to blow past it because it's hugely important, this blended approach to training. And then Jenny, you know, touched on it as well, allows you as the student to keep all the rest of your life going. It respects your personal activity schedule so that as long as you can separate out, you know, roughly 17 hours a week and just budget that for your own self-paced training. And of course, that's with the exception of the 3-day weekends. Then you don't have to ask them to hold your job for 6 months or ask the kids to please stay out of trouble for the next 6 months or whatever it is. You can keep all the balls going and all the balls in the air. And I think that's hugely important. I think also what we were saying about those live online classes being recorded for later and repeat viewing is also a very important point. So those several things. I would just say, too, that when we're going over the website, note that there's an area of the website where you can actually download the course catalog. I know that sounds like a really dense document. It is. It's like 40 pages. But so many questions are answered, and that's a hugely information-rich environment. You've got all the information about tuition and pricing, which I will go over with you right here, but I don't want you to just take my word for it. I want you to be able to look at it later and, you know, review it at your leisure. So that's in there. Descriptions, course descriptions, down to what classes go in each module and really how much time is spent on each of these topics, which is very, very important, I think, for you to be able to sort of see what you can expect and you know, prepare for in your training. So getting down to pricing, that's always a big question. And again, that pricing is in the course catalog, but I'm going to go over it with you here. Training is always $18.50 per training hour. So if you're now designing a curriculum around that $18.50, you're saying, well, each 100-hour module then would be $1,850, and that's correct. If you're doing the first 3 modules, which comprises your hypnotherapist diploma and is necessarily prerequisite to any of the other diploma courses, you have to be a hypnotherapist before you can become a clinical hypnotherapist. That just follows. Then those 3 modules together would, paid individually $1,850 every 6 weeks, would total $5,550. Now, through September alone, you could pay for it all at one time and save 10%. And that's not, to my understanding, that's not going to be available beyond the September class. So, you know, just write that down someplace or make note of that. The same thing is true with the clinical and transpersonal modules. You can pay for them one at a time as you take them, and that way your training is paid off before you graduate, and you know you're not paying any interest or carrying charges. That's $1,850 per, you know, clinical or transpersonal. or you can pay for them both together and again, save 10%. That's a $370 savings, but it's only available, to my knowledge, for the September class. So that might be something, again, you might want to reach back around to me and just clarify if you have any questions. Now, there's one other method of payment, and that would be, getting a student loan. We do offer student loans. The minimum credit score to qualify is 600 or above. If you're thinking of a student loan, just be prepared that the down payment is $600, but your monthly payments are really very user-friendly at under $300 a month for a maximum of 38 months. So if that seems like a palatable way for you to go, bear in mind that there's no prepayment penalty. So if you can pay it off before 3 years, well, that's fine. All it's going to do, it's simple interest. So all it's going to do is reduce the gross amount of interest paid on the loan because you're holding the loan for a shorter term. It doesn't reduce the APR, but again, a shorter term is a lower gross amount of interest. And when you're ready to hold a seat, I think that's an important point to make, because for September and January classes, it's busy, seats go fast. And Danny already told you we have a student teacher ratio of 5-to-1, which we really want to maintain. So we aren't going to overfill any of those classes for that and a number of other reasons, many having to do with, your safety and of course the quality of your experience. Call me and we'll reserve your seat with a deposit of $300. That's going to open the first 20 hours of training. So you'll actually get a sneak peek and you'll be able to get in there and kind of, see what it feels like and make sure that you feel in alignment with the way things are presented. So that's important. If you decided after you went through that first 20 hours that no, this isn't really for you for whatever reason, just send me an email. We will refund $200 of your $300 and you'll keep the 20 hours, which in itself at $18.50 an hour is worth, more than $300 actually. So you do have a value for that amount. I would also say, just as another important point, we don't share your contact information out of school. I know a lot of other places do kind of like sell your contact information. That's not how we operate. But you will be expecting that other members of Institute staff will have access to it so they can contact you on Institute business. Your fellow students will be able to reach out to you when they form study groups or to request to share class notes, things of that nature. But no, like if you're starting to get weird emails from psychics or something like that, it's not, we didn't do it, I swear. One other thing though, I will point out that this is a business training expense. So it would be deductible against your related business. Obviously, this is an expense towards a related business. I don't want you to think of it as an education expense because you shouldn't be expecting a 1098-T at the end of the year. Save any receipts you get from me in a little folder on your email, and then you can just ship them right over to your accountant and they'll be able to use that on your taxes. And I think that about wraps up my portion of the presentation, unless there are other questions. I noticed that Steve 470 was asking about the former clinic model, and he said it was mentioned in the first 4.5 hours. That's true. We did try that as a pilot project, and we found that a national hypnotherapy clinic really didn't answer the needs of the public. People just didn't really respond well to that idea. I believe they really need to feel a more personal connection, and I think that's probably why that is. But that doesn't mean that the marketing and business development portion of the training isn't really robust. And of course, that Corey is there to help you build your websites if you need, and get your scheduling tools set up and help you understand how to work your sphere of influence and how to boost your SEO so that you're able to generate business on your own. Danny, anything I'm left out?
No, that was it. I was like, listen to you talking all that marketing SEO stuff. Awesome. Yeah, well, everybody's here to support the students making their transition into practice and whatever resources we can offer, even if that's just review your website. But as Monica did mention, Corey has a opportunity to help you with some done for you websites, so you can work with him to get started very quickly and affordably on that. And Steve says also, let's see. Oh, Steve says thank you, Monica. He says also in the first 4.5 hours, Matthew very briefly mentions the optional clinical internship. Could you please expand on that? And again, that is speaking to that previous model of having a clinic in as associated with the school. And what we found is that what served the clients and the students best was not competing with your organic marketing to get clients to come to the school. Rather, what we do now is we will refer them out to you, whether if they need someone in a certain location or if you have a specific skill set that is aligned with what the client is looking for, we'll refer them out to you. So it's a little bit more personal referrals now these days. So that's what he's speaking to there. That's no longer a part of the model. I hope that makes sense, Steve. Okay. Thanks for everybody who's chatting in the chat pod. We love you. We're so grateful for you. Thanks for being here tonight. I wanted to share with you a quick look-see at the website. I don't need to waste your time with necessarily going through every single page, but let me just show you some of the highlights of the website. So if you can just stand by for just a moment. All right, share my screen. And so I'm going to be on the screen right here. Please hold. Okay, I'm just going to move you out of the way. And Monica and Jenny, you can see the school's website here. Perfect. Well done. Excellent. So you'll notice we're here at the Institute of Hypnotherapy right here.com. And this is our home page. You can get started if you're not starting with us already with this care package. Go ahead and access this right now. And we'll send you some complimentary resources, just your name and your email and your phone. If you have that, we can give you a call and have a really good conversation about what you can expect. If you were to click on this link and give us your email, you get 4.5 hours of free intro training. You get the Life Mastery Hypnotic Programming recordings complimentary and a training guide as well. If that's something that you're interested in and you have a little bit of time, we'd love for you to check that out. Of course, if you want to just dive right in, you can certainly get in touch with Monica and give a deposit, and we'll give you access to the student portal where you'll have access to quite a bit more content. The student portal is something that we've just spent a lot of time launching and refining to make sure it's a good student experience for you once you're inside. It's the online delivery of the training. So here we are on the website. You can certainly book a call with Monica, or you can just call her directly. The phone number I will show you on the slide. You could certainly just connect with her directly about your enrollment in the September 27th class. There is a little, let's see, here in the training, you can check out the schedule right down here for that class. That might be useful for you to look at in advance of enrolling. This will just give you all the dates of the program start date, which is also the first live class, and the dates of the clinical, the in-person or online experiential practices. And so you'll have the entire 7, 8, 9 months, depending on the start dates available for you, so you can make a good decision there. Hi, Matthew. Hi, Danny. All right, so back up here on the main navigation bar, you'll also see some information about our mission and vision, the staff and credentials. Please check this out. We really want you to know who you are working with. We've assembled an incredible body of instructors and administrators that are here to support you and to support the school in delivering on its mission. Please check us out. Please read up about Matthew. Just a wonderful soul who's bringing this incredible work to you. It's worth spending some time here exploring that. You can also check this out here. The student portal, you can click on this link, but you won't get very far unless you're talking to Monica already about this. And then back over here on the training, you can read a little bit about the student testimonials. You can get some information about an introduction to this work and what it's about. You can read a little bit about the NLP training. As I mentioned, we do offer this as a CEU, and that's available not just to IIH members, but to interested public as well. So maybe that's you. You can read a little bit about the IIH courses. These are also presented as CEUs, but you don't have to be a IIH member to attend those. And again, the hypnotherapy training schedules are here. Some free resources for you. Getting started with the care package that I already mentioned, the conscious community class I mentioned as we started this journey. You can dive into all of these. And I mentioned there are hours upon hours of these wonderful, wonderful presentations that Matthew has done free for the public. Certainly dive into these as well. You really enjoy hearing about some of the topics that he presents. The Illuminated Mind podcast, I mentioned this before, and you might be seeing more of this on the Monday night classes, conscious community class, where Matthew and Corey Benchop get on and they talk about a topic that might have interest to you. In fact, here's one interested in me. What is true love? I don't know. I think I should go listen to this one. And you can check out some of these other wonderful podcasts. You'll see some special guests coming up. Very, very much worth your time. And if you really want to understand Matthew's philosophy and all of the heart that he brings to this work, this is a wonderful place to hang out. Plus, you'll get some access to Corey Bunchop, who is our wonderful director of marketing. And he's also a former student and an excellent hypnotherapist. I should know. I trained him, but he's an incredible human being in and of himself. Check out our blog. This is an incredible place to go if you really want to get inside some of the philosophy and the how and the what and the why, and the incredible insight and wisdom that Matthew has to share, and even some of the legacy training that he has to offer and provides in this field. This is a great place to hang out. Really great deep content here, deep dive into the back end of the how and the why, the what we do. Online monastery, oh please head over there. And this is Matthew's, this whole school is Matthew's passion project, but this in particular, please spend some time over here. An incredible free resource to really take you to the next level, not just in meditation and breathing, but just aligning spiritually. Matthew just completed a class, and he does a Tuesday night support class for this group as well. All these resources are here for you free. Please check them out. It's a wonderful resource he's provided for you. Head on over to the IIH if you want to understand that overarching governing body of our graduates. They support our graduates. You'll learn a little bit more about the origin of that, how to become a member once you're graduated, and dive into some of the resources. I mentioned the Code of Ethics. This is really powerful. I don't know of any other hypnotherapy organization that has something like this, which is a standard that we're holding our graduates to. And as long as you abide by these standards, we will support you in any way that we can. And the good thing was that we find that our graduates naturally and automatically abide by these. It just feels like the right thing to do. So if you are a graduate thinking about becoming an IIH member and you happen to be watching this, please check this out. You would have to sign that. But it's also, if you want to know about the heart and the integrity with which we approach this work, this is a great place to explore. Please do check that out. Let's see, some other things that you could be aware of with the IIH is our legal efforts, and let's just check that out for just a minute. I mentioned that Matthew will advocate for a graduate who is working with a county or a area that is not quite sure about what we do, not quite sure about how we fit into the business tax world, or who maybe think that the hypnotherapists need to be licensed and have a license. Matthew does some incredible work to support our graduates in that respect. And you can come over here and read some of his advocacy and how he's helped our graduates get their business tax receipt, which is like a business license. Remember, you do not have to be licensed to be a hypnotherapist in the state of Florida, but you need a business tax receipt, probably in your county or in your city So check this out if you want to read about some of that. A few more resources to note are some of the ways we support our graduates or with some professional forms, and resources for liability insurance, and also resources for HIPAA compliance. Even though we're not a medical or mental health practice, we do try to perform and hold our graduates to the highest standard of practice, which includes making sure that they're aware that they have access to and can fold HIPAA requirements into their practice. It's a very valuable thing to protect people's personal information. And you can dive into some hypnotherapy research. This is some area that we're growing into right now, coordinating and creating some opportunities to actually study what we do, so we can continue to prove that it is not only a worthwhile endeavor, but it has actual measurable results. check that out. And then dive into this hypnosis law. No matter where you are in the country, this is important for you to be aware of. You definitely want to keep your eyes out for changes in the law because it affects how we practice. You know, the practice of hypnotherapy is free and open, and yet you also need to be aware of the state laws and how they perceive individuals like us and the work we do. And we don't work on any kind of pain or medical or mental health issues without a referral, direction, direct supervision, a prescription from a licensed mental health counselor or a licensed practitioner of the healing arts, medical arts. So please check this out, dive into a little bit more about what your state may require. Good news is Florida has some of the more stringent requirements, but there are some states out there that have some regulations that make it a little bit challenging for you to work, if not almost near impossible. So please check that out, okay? We want you to be well informed. Headed on back to IIH, I've covered that. Head on over to the bookstore, see the many, many resources that we provide for you and offer for you. Of course, I've mentioned many of Matthew's wonderful books, and this one right here, Peace Under All Circumstances, which I'm frequently giving my own clients because I just so love it. It's got some audio resources here for you and your listening pleasure, and you'll also find that there are some other resources on the website here that are from former graduates and other partners and colleagues in this work as well. There are also CEUs and workshops that you can purchase through the bookstore as well. As I just mentioned, Matthew just completed the Course in Miracles this past weekend that was turned into a evergreen course. So it's here for your future viewing if you are interested in that as well. Let's see, what else can I do? Your required reading for the school, you can check that out as well. And then contact, if you want to get in touch with any of us, you can certainly complete this little informational sheet here to just tell us what you need. How can we help you? Whether you need a hypnotherapist in your area, whether you just want to talk to an instructor, whether you want to talk to student services, whether you want to talk with Monica, get in touch with Matthew or someone to find out what you have access to as a student, here's where you can go. Hypnotherapy training, you can find out about the conference, about certification, CEU courses, or just a general inquiry, or just to let us know that you had fun tonight. Because we like to have fun, isn't that right, Jenny? We like to,
right. That is correct.
we like to have fun, and we like to, yes, we do, and we like to support you in your journey. So if there's any way that we can support you in it becoming a part of the school, whether it's to start your journey as a hypnotherapist or just dive into something completely profound personally, we're here to help you. Let me just reshare that screen for you so you know, hello, the slides, back to the slides, so you know how to get a hold of us. Let's see, did it show up? Let's try that again. Share slides and September. Okay, there we go. Back to here. And that's how to get in touch with us. Of course, Monica's your first stop. If you're a prospective student, she'd love to hear from you. And we'd love to see your names on our roster. So any questions, you can do that in the chat pod right now. Okay. Let us know how we can support you. We're here to talk and chat. We've still got some people hanging out. Anything you want to share, Jenny? Monica, any last words?
No, I think we probably covered all the territory we needed to cover, and I sure enjoyed it. I hope you guys did.
I did too. It's it's fun speaking on the fly.
I'm always speaking on the fly. That's what I do.
Oh, right. Well, we sure hope you guys have a great night, and I hope to see you soon. And please let us know how we can support you. And stay safe and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, everybody.
Hey, thanks for coming. Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.